So you're interested in learning about Real Brokerage. Well guys, my name is McKeown and I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, as well as the Orlando, Florida market. And I've been with Real Brokerage for about 3.5 years, dating all the way back to October of 2020. Now, at that time in 2020, we had just hit 1,100 agents when we brought about 150 of us over from EXP at the time. And now we blossomed to well over 15,000 agents effectively in February of 2024. And over the last month alone, we've grown over 1,000 agents. Now, if you aren't new to my channel, you've probably seen these videos every so often. I like to put them out to kind of update people on what my real estate brokerage is doing, as well as what my real estate brokerage has done for me, but to also update people that are new to my channel or possibly coming across this video, because needless to say, there has been a ton of changes with Real Brokerage, mostly good, since I joined back in 2020. Now, one disclaimer I do want to state here is this video is certainly going to be lengthy. If you're wanting to find out all things Real Brokerage, the reason why this is lengthy is because I'm going into every single detail I possibly can. But before I do jump into that, I do want to announce a couple things that have been recently announced here at Real Brokerage. First and foremost, our stock has officially surpassed $3 a share effectively in February 2024. Also, the conference in October, which is named Rise, is going to be held at Las Vegas in October this year. I'm excited to be able to meet a ton of the fellow agents I work alongside, not just locally in my market, but all over the country and in Canada. Also, in addition to that, what was announced at our last conference last October is sometime this year, we're going to be getting a Real credit card. Yes, Real Brokerage is actually not just getting into the agent space, not just the mortgage space, and not just the title space, but also kind of the financial space as well. Now, in addition to that, we have also unveiled Pro Teams and Private Label. Now, what Private Label is this is where an independent brokerage is essentially able to keep their brand and partner with Real. And just to quickly detail Pro Teams, this is an advanced configuration capability on Real's internal systems that allows all agent groups, brokerages, and teams who are planning to join Real and who are currently with Real to have the ability to configure, control, and manage the team's economic plan. We're talking splits, caps, fees, etc., with a ton of flexibility. Now, if you do have any comments or questions about anything that I have just announced, a lot of this is brand new to Real Brokerage. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below or reach out to me via my Calendly link in the description if you especially want to talk about Real Brokerage and whether or not it's going to be a great fit for you or potentially your team. And one last thing before I jump into breaking down Real Brokerage for you guys is I want to give a quick snapshot of what my production, as well as what my organization here at Real Brokerage looks like over the course of the last 3.5 years, as well as where I was previously at my last brokerage. Now, I've been licensed for about 7 years and accumulated north of $115 million in real estate sales. That's all from self-production. I did by chance grow a team. I had about 8 agents and 4 or 5 staff members. Lo and behold, in the year of 2022 though, I let all of those individuals go because I found more opportunity and far more profitability by being able to attract and grow my organization here at Real. So I still continue to sell both in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as well as the Orlando market. I'm continuing to push out about $20 to $25 million in annual volume every single year. But as of February 2024, my organization here at Real Brokerage is a little shy of 600, with a huge goal that I have moving forward to continue to bring people to this brokerage and show them the opportunity that is the full model here at Real. So let's jump right into it. Well, first things first, I think all agents are going to care about their fee structure, and fee structure is obviously going to differ from brokerage to brokerage, but what I can tell you is Real Brokerage is honestly not going to take a ton of fees until you start selling homes. Now, we do have an onboarding fee of $249. This essentially is going to give you access to all of the tech as well as all the training that we have here at Real. And needless to say, we've got about 40 or 50 calls every single week with top agents across the country hosting different kind of Zoom masterminds that for $250, it's hard to go wrong. So yes, a one-time $249 startup fee, and beyond that, we do not have any monthly fees. A lot of brokerages out there will have either desk fees or monthly fees. We do not. So if you are a brand new agent, it's really only going to cost you $250 to start, and really only incur additional costs beyond that once you start to close transactions here at Real. Now, the next set of fees is going to be your annual fee. Now that annual fee is going to be broken up into your first 3 transactions of $250 a piece. So your first 3 transactions, you accumulate $250 per each one of those first 3 transactions, which is $750, and that's going to be your total annual fee. Now, if you are an individual that is a part-time agent, or maybe you're just trying to start out, I know me, first and foremost, it took me about 5 months to complete my first transaction. Well, if you only wind up doing 1 or 2 in that first year, you're not going to actually pay that entire $750 for your annual fee. It will then reset for your second year. But for the most part, if you're doing 3 or more transactions, that'll be taken out of your first 3 transactions and cover your annual fee. Now, the next fee I'm going to discuss is kind of an all-encompassing fee that we've thrown a lot together. It's going to be a BOP fee, or BEOP fee. This is essentially your broker, your E&O, and your processing fee, and that's going to be for every single transaction you close, and that's going to be $30 per transaction. Now, I definitely don't want to confuse a lot of you, as this can be a lot of information to consume, but a lot of these fees could actually be percentaged based on whether or not you have another agent actually within the transaction as well. For instance, if you have a team or if there's a referring agent, that BOP fee, for example, is not going to be the full $30. You're going to split it based on the transaction percentage that you're actually earning in your commission. Now, again, as I mentioned, if you want any clarification, feel free to reach out to me. I love math. I've got a degree in math. Numbers at the end of the day are my jam, and I would love to be able to help any of this make more sense to you. But let's jump into what is probably the biggest question that people have, and that is, what is your split here at Real Brokerage? Well, every single brokerage you join, for the most part, is going to have a split. Well, that split is typically paid to the brokerage, and that's how the brokerage stays essentially profitable. Here at Real Brokerage, you're going to have a $12,000 cap, and that $12,000 cap is going to be taken out of every single transaction until you obviously cap at an 85 to 15% clip, meaning you are going to earn 85% and your brokerage is going to earn 15% until you accumulate $12,000 in fees. Now, there's additional savings if you do run a team. You can essentially have agents on a half cap. So instead of a $12,000 cap, your agents on your team now incur a $6,000 cap, meaning it's going to save your agents half of what you are actually paying in a cap. And if you are a very large team, you can actually get a mega team discount at a $4,000 cap. Now, you may be asking, what happens once I cap? Again, that $30 transaction fee is going to be on every single transaction. The $250 for your first 3 transactions only occur for your first 3 transactions. The $249 startup fee is a one-time startup fee. But once you do cap, you start incurring a $285 transaction fee. So if you want to really include the $285 plus your $30 BOP fee, you're essentially looking at $315 per transaction. Now, I'm going to stop you real quick because you may be curious, why the heck am I paying $315 a transaction after I already paid my $12,000 cap here at Real? Well, it keeps getting better here at Real Brokerage. And me, myself, this is my jacket from 2021, but I am a 3-time working on a 4-time elite agent here at Real Brokerage. And let me explain exactly what that means. Now, the good news is after you cap, you still have something that you can work towards, whether or not you're a team lead, whether or not you're a solo agent, or whatever type of agent you may so call yourself. If you accumulate $6,000 in transaction fees, I'll give you a rough number of about 21 deals post cap. So let's say it took you 10 deals to cap and 21 deals post cap. So if you did 31 deals in a given year, you would essentially earn the Elite Agent Award. Now, if you by chance don't know what that is, I'm gonna have to make you wait until a little bit later in this video to break down exactly what that means, because I'm just going over fees right now, but it is the top producing threshold here at Real Brokerage, and it is a huge award to get on an annual basis. So once you actually hit that threshold of $6,000 in transaction fees, your $285 goes down to $129, and that $129 is essentially going to keep with you for the remainder of your 12 months with Real until you reset for the following year. And just to give you guys some basis here, I sold about 20 or 22 million last year in solo production in 2023, and I paid Real Brokerage at the end of my year about $20,000 or $21,000 in total fees. So in terms of comparing apples to apples with other kind of brokerages and how many fees, for roughly $20 or $21 million in production, and I haven't even gotten into what Real has paid me, $20,000 to $21,000 for about $20 million in production is a pretty decent amount of fees, but but it's by far not the highest or even close to the highest if you're looking at other brokerages. So that basically covers all of the fees here at Real Brokerage. Again, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer any of them that you may have. But let's move over to our publicly traded stock that we give out a lot of our stock actually to our agents based on attraction as well as production. Now, if you by chance aren't familiar with Real stock, we are labeled as REAX, both on the Canadian Stock Exchange as well as NASDAQ. And we're roughly trading at about $3 effectively now in February of 2024. Now, the perk about being here at Real Brokerage is you get stock given to you based on whether or not you sell homes, whether or not you cap, and whether or not you attract any agents to the company. So I'm actually going to start with the stock purchase program. This is 100% your choice to participate in or not to. I highly suggest that most people do participate in it because it's an easy way to be able to essentially put money aside, kind of like a savings account. But at the end of the day, it's completely your choice. So what is exactly the stock purchase program here at Real Brokerage? Well, you contribute 5% of your commission leading up to when you cap. Real will actually bonus you 10% of the amount that you contribute in bonus stock. It's about a 12-month vest, so in about 12 months, you get that free stock given to you. And just because I'm a numbers guy, that's a $340 check written essentially to you at the given rate in which our stock is being traded at. And again, that you have the option to trade or do whatever you want with in 12 months. But it doesn't stop there, guys. It actually gets twice as good after you cap. You can actually contribute a significant amount more. It's actually 10% of your total commission once you have capped, leading up to $15,000, and that is bonused at a 20% clip. So rather than $340 pre-cap, you actually can contribute up to $15,000, which again at a 20% bonus clip, which tallies up to $3,000 in company stock that Real is able to give you if you max that out for your post-cap contribution. So if you add the two together, $340 plus $3,000, you're talking about $3,340 that Real is just going to give you in free stock on an annual basis if you completely max this out. Now moving on to the next ability to earn stock here at Real Brokerage, it's either going to be on an annual basis when you cap or when you attract an agent and they complete a transaction themselves. Now this is a little bit tiered, and obviously as we continue to grow, this is going to tier down, but as of now, leading up to 16,000 agents, if you attract a single agent and that agent closes a transaction, you are awarded 75 shares with a 3-year vest time. And in addition to that, once you cap, you're actually going to be awarded 150 shares for that year leading up to 16,000 agents. Again, once we get above 16,000 agents, it's likely to tier down just incrementally until we get to a certain part in growth. But as of right now, it's 150 shares for capping every single year and 75 shares for every single agent that you attract that completes their first transaction. And last but not least, I mentioned it a little bit earlier in this video, is the Elite Award, which again is going to be the top production threshold. You can actually assume this production threshold by either completing your cap and then doing about 21 deals post-cap or accumulating that $6,000 in transaction fees, or if you are in a luxury market, and let's say for instance my market, it's pretty easy to do 31 deals in a given calendar year, but it isn't necessarily easy to do 31 deals in, let's say, Aspen, Colorado, because your average price point is anywhere from 2 to 10 to 20 million. So in a luxury market, if you complete 10 sales with at least those 10 sales being above $1 million price point, and you accumulate $500,000 in GCI, you're going to be awarded the Elite Agent Award. Now, beyond the $3,340 that I get a year in contributing to the stock purchase program or attracting agents from all over the country or even in Canada, the Elite Agent Award is going to trump both of those by giving me a total of $16,000 in company stock. Yes, that means I pay the company $12,000. I then pay the company $6,000 in transaction fees, or totaling about $18,000 in company fees, plus or minus the $30 per transaction fee and the $750 annual fee, which is really where I get my $20,000 in total annual fees based on my production. But I'm gonna get immediately $16,000 in company stock. But it gets even better, guys. On top of that, you're going to get $8,000 in addition to the $16,000 they immediately give you if you host a call once a month on our academy. Basically, our brokerage offers a ton of different collaboration through Zoom calls, and if you are an elite agent and you host a call once a month on Zoom, you're going to be given that $8,000, which totals up to $24,000 for hitting that Elite Agent Award. So just to run some quick numbers for you guys, especially if you're an individual that closes anywhere from 10 to 15 million, you're probably going to be looking similar numbers to what I am producing here. I'm only going to be paying Real $20,000 a year. Now, in addition to that, they're going to be paying me $3,300 or bonusing me $3,340 a year in company stock, and then giving me an additional $24,000 in company stock because I hit the Elite Agent Award. That means I'm pushing close to $28,000 in stock given to me on an annual basis, plus whatever I make for capping, as well as whatever I make for attracting an agent. And you can see the opportunity on an annual basis, especially with a company where their stock value is still so incredibly low with a huge opportunity to continue to go up, that on an annual basis, I'm not even paying my company to sell here. So yes, if you're looking for a brokerage that you don't pay on an annual basis, but instead they pay you, then Real Brokerage could be a great fit. And also in addition to that, if you aren't interested in attraction or bringing other agents into the company, you can just solely sell a ton of homes here and not pay Real on an annual basis, not collect any money from what I'm going to be discussing next, which is revenue share, and still be profitable at the end of the year, having actually received more stock than what you've actually paid Real Brokerage. Now, the sad part here is not all real estate agents actually do their due diligence when it comes to looking at brokerages and running some numbers at the end of the day, because I know actually some brokerages that people are paying tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, which they'd essentially pay none of that here at Real Brokerage if they brought their individual self or their team over to Real Brokerage. But let's jump right over to revenue share, which is where a lot of the fun can begin if someone is kind of influential or someone has a decent name in their local marketplace or potentially across the country. Because if you know agents, and if you know agents who want to take advantage of an opportunity, revenue share could be a huge blessing for you, not just for yourself, but for your potential family as well. Now, if you by chance have been living under a rock and you're in the real estate realm, potentially looking at a brokerage change, let me break down what revenue share entirely is. Well, it used to be that the brick and mortar brokerages essentially took your split, which here at Real Brokerage would be that $12,000. That $12,000 though would immediately go into either staff or again, their brick and mortar offices. Well, lo and behold, a new model kind of got unveiled. Now, I'm definitely not scared to admit we weren't the first company to unveil revenue share, but the way that we have perfected it and the way that Real Brokerage runs as a company is tremendous. So instead of that $12,000 essentially going fully into the broker's pockets, now Real Brokerage, because it is a cloud-based brokerage, can actually require far less staff. Meaning a lot of what we have here tech-wise is automated, and it's actually excelled to the point where we don't need a ton of staff. Now, if you do need help, we have plenty of support, but we're actually able to automate a lot and get rid of those brick and mortar offices, so that $12,000 essentially has the opportunity to pay back to its agents, for the agents actually helping the company grow versus all of it going in the broker's pockets. So how revenue share works here is every single agent that you bring in, you have an opportunity to earn a portion of that $12,000 cap that they're paying to Real Brokerage. But my favorite word, leverage, comes into part here when those agents that you bring on an agent themselves because they're hungry and they see the opportunity that is revenue share and attraction and passive income. If they bring on an agent, as long as you unlock that tier, you can then collect off of your agents that you brought in from the agents that they bring in. Now, I'm just gonna break this down into a tiered system. Every single agent that you bring in, you can earn $4,000 of their $12,000 cap. Essentially, every single tier below, it goes down $800. So 4,000 down to 3,200, down to 2,400, 1,600, and last but not least, tier 5 would be earning up to $800 from that agent's cap. Now, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I have spent the last 3.5 years bringing agents over to this great company, showcasing what Real Brokerage has done for me, and my organization has roughly grown to about 600 people total across the country and in Canada. Now, without blatantly giving you guys a number of what I earn on an annual basis from those 600 agents within my organization, if we're talking from tier 1 all the way down to tier 5, I'm collecting roughly about $1,000 a year on every single agent. So if you do some quick math there, you can see how life-changing challenging this type of income can be, even if you attract 10% of what I've been able to attract over the last 3.5 years and you bring on 60, or maybe you just bring on 6. If you're collecting $1,000 per agent, that's $6,000 that you can help offset the additional fees that you may be incurring here at Real Brokerage. But the cool news is that doesn't necessarily stop. Again, I can utilize the word leverage again as I have agents underneath me. I've got about 50 that I've brought in directly, so that leaves about 550 other agents that are attracting on a daily basis if they can. And the time that those other 550 agents spend to attract agents into the company, they may reach out from time to time and ask me to jump on a call. They may reach out from time to time to ask me to kind of collaborate or give some feedback or help in any kind of way that I can, and I absolutely do. But those 550 agents are constantly growing my organization just as I am today. And the best part about this is it's willable, guys. Meaning I could essentially decide to retire and live in the boonies somewhere and essentially never sell another house in real estate, and I would be able to live comfortably right now, just 3.5 years into being here at Real Brokerage. But my goal has not yet been accomplished. My goal is to hit that 1,000 agent threshold. And again, I'm sitting at about 600. So if you are by chance interested in Real Brokerage, whether or not it's you as an individual, maybe it's someone that you know that's looking at a brokerage change, or it's potentially a large organization or team at another brokerage, I would love to be able to sit down with you. I would love to be able to hop on a Zoom call, or maybe even fly out to your local market, meet you, and kind of show you the opportunity that is Real Brokerage, and have you come experience what has been absolutely life-changing here at Real. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you have any questions, as I've said multiple times already throughout this video, leave a comment in the comment section down below, or reach out to me, schedule a call, schedule a private call, and we'll be able to discuss any and all things Real Brokerage. If it's not gonna be a good fit, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's not gonna be a good fit, but if it is, I'm telling you, it is absolutely life-changing.